Hello everyone, welcome back. It has been a while. Oh my god. It has been a very long time. Well, not a long time. It's been like 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. But yeah, we're back doing the streams. Obviously, this is I say it's weekly. I mean, it hasn't been weekly, but we've got a lot to talk about. Let's just be honest, right? So there's been a few weeks when nothing has happened. And then also I was away. I was in Venice. I got engaged, which is mental. So a lot has happened, but we're here now. I'm just sharing the stream around, and then we'll get straight into it. We've got a lot to talk about with Spider-Man 98. Christopher Daneil Barnes coming out and talking about Spider-Man 98 as well. Lots of things. MCU Spider-Man 4. There's loads of stuff we've got to talk about today. There is. YOLO Swag, hello, how we doing? 24 Bricks, what's going on, my friend? What's going on? I'm just sharing around the stream. Just make sure you if you can share around the stream, that'd be absolutely awesome. That'd be really cool. How is everyone doing today, by the way? Let me know how you're doing. I want to know how you're doing. I haven't spoken to you guys in a while. Well, I have in the comments, but like not on the live stream. So let me know how you're doing. I'm just sharing the stream around as I do. I always like panickingly have to share the stream around at the start of the stream before anyone clicks off and gets bored of me just looking at my phone. You're doing okay? That's good. But we've got a lot to talk about today, obviously. Spider-Man 98 is going to be the first topic. Happy engagement. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a wild few weeks, to be honest with you. I will admit life doesn't really feel any different, but I think it's because it's been a long time coming. But yeah. Hi Raheel, how are we doing? Hopefully we're all good. I will admit if I butcher anyone's names, I do really apologise. When anyone enters the chat, I've got my activate Windows thing over it, so I can't actually see anyone's names properly, so I do apologise. But either way, yeah. Hello, how are we doing? You're all good? That's good. Anyway, okay, I mean, let's just get straight into it, right? Because I think people will join as we get on, and hopefully, I'm good, thank you. I'm doing very good. But yeah, we've got some big Spider-Man 98 news. So as we know, it's been long enough now. It's been over a week since that X-Men 97 episode. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry for spoiling you, but also, if you haven't seen it, I don't know how. It's been plastered all over Instagram, all over Twitter, all over YouTube. I don't even know how. But yes, of course, the Christopher Daneil Barnes Spider-Man appeared in that one episode of X-Men 97, which obviously means they have had the idea of bringing the character back. They've already brought the character back. It wasn't a voiced cameo. It was a voiceless cameo. Christopher Daneil Barnes has not been contacted, as we'll talk about in just a moment's time, because he has spoke about the prospect of the show coming back for a 6th season. I know it's not Spider-Man related, but when we go over everything, can we look at Superman news? We can. We'll have a look at that Superman news, I'm sure. We'll get into that. Good morning, says El Corvo. Do you think In Some Craven could survive Spider-Man PS4? Well, he didn't. He didn't. Excited for tomorrow's episode of X-Men 97. Yeah, So basically, Christopher Daneil Barnes, let's just get straight into it, right? I'm going to do a poll, as we do know. I always like to do the polls. Let's do the polls. Start a poll. So, do you want a 6th season of Spider-Man, the animated series? Let's just start it plain and simple. I think this will get pretty much a whitewash, 100% of the vote. But yeah, so basically, Christopher Daneil Barnes was asked, basically, is the show coming back? Are you going to be making a season 6? Are you going to be continuing the story, trying to find Mary Jane? And Christopher Daneil Barnes basically said, no, I haven't been contacted about coming back to play the character. Obviously, you can never take what actors say in Hollywood or in this industry as fact, because as we know, actors in these industries will always lie. I think the main example of that is Andrew Garfield, obviously lying he was in No Way Home. They've signed NDAs, which is basically, if you don't know what an NDA is, it's a non-disclosure agreement, which basically says you can't talk about the project that you're in until it's out or until you are doing marketing for it. So there's a chance that, CBD's done a NDA and he isn't talking about it when he's been asked about it. He said, nah, listen, I haven't been contacted, but I'd love to do it, right? But that can always be the case. But we're going to take what he says as gospel for now and assume he hasn't been contacted. He hasn't. The show isn't being made at the moment. But he has said he would love to come back to do it, which is promising, right? So, I think it's very promising, and we've got a 100% yes in the chat, which I did, I completely expected. Do you think Spider-Man will also be in tomorrow's episode? I don't know. It was only a cameo, right? If anyone says no, I need an answer. Have you read Godzilla Mendoza's idea of continuing Spider-Man, the animated series? I haven't read it, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to do my own version, and I don't want to be influenced by other people, because, I watch... The issue I've got, right, is I love other creators' ideas. Like, I've seen... I've purposely not watched Troy Oboyo's continuing the College Trilogy series, just because... I want to make my own, and I know he's got really good ideas. I've seen his Batman ideas, and I think they're really cool. So I'm trying not to not to watch it. So this stream is such a vibe. Thank you, 24 Bricks. I do appreciate that. I think everyone would like a new season of Spider-Man, the new animated series. Although I think most people would prefer Spectacular, but we'd be winning anyway. Yeah, I mean, Spectacular or Spider-Man 98, we're winning either way. My Siri has just turned on, by the way. That was really weird. I love the new animated series, but would much rather see the new animated series season 2. Did I say new animated series twice? I did. Okay, the animated series, the 90s one, but I'd love to see... So, Tenas season 2. So, yeah, it's the MTV show, isn't it? The CGI. But, yeah, so Christopher Daneil Barnes has said that he hasn't been contacted yet, and that is the big news for today regarding Spider-Man 98. But it is promising that there was a cameo. Now, there's two things that I want to talk about, right? There's two things I want to talk about regarding Spider-Man 98. It doesn't just end there. It does not just end there. And also, by the way, if you are tuning into the stream now, you're going to want to stick around, because we've got some really hefty Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 news and some actual MCU Spider-Man 4 news as well we've got to talk about as well. But there are two things I want to talk about. It doesn't just stop there. Number one, if Marvel were willing to put a cameo of Spider-Man, specifically the animated series Spider-Man, in X-Men 97, that means they're aware that the fans would react to it in this way. They know what the fans are like, they've seen them through, phase 1, 2, 3 of the MCU. They know what they're like. They know how they react to cameos. They know how they react to potentially things coming back that they loved from the past. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, they know how this works, right? They know what they're doing. So they knew what they were doing by putting this cameo in there, right? So this says one of two. Now, keep this in mind, right? Now, I don't think Spider-Man 98 is going to be made, right? And the reason for that is because they're making Spider-Man freshman year. But I think a part of them sort of regrets not doing Spider-Man 98 first and holding out on Spider-Man freshman year until Spider-Man 98 comes out. And the reason I think that is because they've seen the reaction to X-Men 97. They've then seen the reaction to the cameo and the love for the show, and they're kind of seeing how people are a little bit iffy about Spider-Man freshman year, or Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, right? And I think part of them regrets it. So where does this leave Marvel? Well, they can't really make Spider-Man 98, because then they're putting it in direct competition with Spider-Man freshman year, whenever that comes out, right? Or season 2 of that show, because obviously they'd have to start making the show. So here's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to bring back the the Marvel animated universe. I think they're going to bring that back through X-Men 97. I reckon then they're probably going to do some kind of Avengers show, or they're going to do some kind of Captain America show using the characters from the same universe that we saw in Spider-Man Season 5, that we saw in the X-Men show as well. And then I reckon they might do a crossover event where Spider-Man might be one of the main characters. And that's how I reckon they do it. And that's how I think they bring him back. I don't think it will be a Spider-Man 98 show. I could be completely wrong on that, but that's my prediction. Just because they'd be putting Spider-Man 98 in direct competition with Spider-Man freshman year. I don't know what you guys think about it, but that is my opinion. But either way, yeah. Spectacular needs to come back, says Phoenix. With the success of X-Men 97, it's hard to imagine they won't do Spider-Man 98. I do agree with that, but at the same time, like I said, they have Spider-Man freshman year. And it's like, you can't put that in direct competition with itself. They're going to want all the attention on Spider-Man freshman year, because if you think about it, yeah, you say, oh, okay, well, people are going to watch it anyway. Yeah, but casual viewers don't work like that. Casual viewers see 2 Spider-Man shows. Okay, I only have time to watch one. It's not like us. We'll watch both because we're mega fans. We'll find the time. Casual fans, kids, whatever, they don't have the time, right? They'll just watch one. And it's like, if Spider-Man freshman year, is down on its viewership compared to Spider-Man 98 or vice versa, it's a lot of money that's been wasted on the show. When really, it's Spider-Man. You know, casual fans will only see it as Spider-Man. It'll see it as 2 Spider-Man shows. So I think personally, when you look at it like that, I think you can't really have both. Unless it is completely down the line, like maybe Spider-Man freshman year has been out for a while and then they decide to do it. But at what point does the hype die down from the cameo? At what point does the hype die down from X-Men 97? And at what point are they in that universe? Like, have they gone too far in this universe? Have they already done the end game? Like, have they already done this crossover event, potentially, of this universe that I was talking about, maybe? Who knows? You know, is Spider-Man already showed up? Is it too late for a season 6? I don't know. Hey, man, I hope you're doing well. What would you want from a sequel series, and how would you continue from the cliffhanger? So this is the thing. So, like I said, I think realistically what's going to happen is we might see Christopher Daneil Barnes come back in a crossover episode or a crossover show or a crossover movie in the Marvel Animated Universe. I think that's the way they're going to do it. But if I was to do a season 6, and I will be giving my extensive ideas on Lewis Fiction, as you can see, it says in the top, it should be your top right-hand corner. Lewis, subscribe to Lewis Fiction. I would probably focus the whole season about Spider-Man time jumping to different dimensions. I really liked the idea of Battle World and what they did with that. You know, they spent 4 seasons in New York. I really like the idea of them jumping to Battle World and that kind of idea in different universes. I think it could be cool. We could do the same thing in season 6, where it would be, obviously there was that idea that they were going to go back to, they were going to go back to 19th century London. I like that idea. You know, Jack the Ripper's a main character. I think that's a cool concept. I like the idea of them going to different worlds where different characters mean and have different roles. I think that's cool. I think I would do something like that. And then obviously by the end, the main goal is him finding Mary Jane. And by the end, he finds Mary Jane. They get married for real this time. And they live happily ever after. Maybe, I don't know, the ending is them, you know, having Mayday or something. It could be something like that to end off the series, which could be pretty cool. I hope it's a support character. I hope he's a support character in X-Men 97, as long as he's voiced by Christopher Daneil Barnes. Well, he said he hasn't been asked to play the character, so we're not too sure about that yet. But once again, like I said, he could be under an NDA. Hey, Lewis, will we be getting your thoughts on Ask 50 by Zeb Wells when it releases? Yes. So, I'm pretty sure that was meant to say ASM, not Ask. But yeah, ASM. ASM, the asterisk. ASM, yeah, I'm going to be doing a video on ASM issue 50. I stopped making videos on the ASM run just because I was saying the same thing every single time. Every single video I was like, this comic is bad, the writing's bad, the villains aren't that great, Peter's kind of a wuss, he isn't really how he should be, he needs to grow up, and that's literally every video. But because obviously ASM is now coming to the conclusion with its Green Goblin story, I think I'm going to go back to talking about ASM, because the whole Norman Osborn thing was a big thing that I made I made a big deal out of it in my videos, especially. I don't know about other creators, but a big thing for me was the Goblin story, and that's been like a big thing for me on the running theme of the Zeb Wells comics. So I think I'm gonna return to doing issue by issue videos up until the run ends when issue 50 comes out. So yes, I will be giving my thoughts on issue 50. Lewis, are you going to post more on TikTok or Instagram, or are you now just going to be sticking to YouTube? I think I'm thinking about repurposing content for TikTok and Instagram, but we'll have to see. That might be coming in the future. It was such a funny series. Lewis just hated on these comics so much. I know, but this is the thing. I was just saying the same thing every single time. Like, it was, I imagine it was getting frustrating for you guys, just clicking on a video like, oh, I wonder what Lewis is going to say this time. Oh wait, it's bad. Who would have guessed? But when it comes to Ultimate Spider-Man, though, the reason I'm going issue by issue on Ultimate Spider-Man is because each issue reveals something, like, new to the story and reveals something that they're doing differently to the 616 comics. So it's interesting every single issue. Like, last issue, I was like, oh, Mary Jane was good. What's Gwen Stacy doing? And then the issue before, I was like, oh, what's Peter and Harry's relationship going to be like? And I'm sure the next issue after that, I'm going to have something new to talk about as well. So, you know, Ultimate Spider-Man is, like, you've got a lot to talk about with Ultimate Spider-Man at the moment, but ASM is just bad every single time. So yeah, I think the only way the animated series version comes back with freshman year in the air is through an animated movie, which kind of possible since X-Men 97 has plans on a movie. Yeah, so I agree. That's exactly what I was saying earlier in the stream. I think I'm gonna take these off. My neck's getting sweaty. It's really hot in the UK. If you live in the UK, it's bloody boiling, man. Yeah, I think the only way is they do a crossover movie at the moment, and then make Spider-Man one of the main characters. I'd love that. That'd be great. Do you think if Ultimate Spider-Man ends, Jonathan Hickman should take over the... yes, please. Oh, my God. If Jonathan Hickman could take over the ASM book, I'd be so happy. I don't really read the comics. I just see what Lewis has to say, and I trust his opinion. Thank you. Well, some people don't, but I do appreciate that. Ultimate Spider-Man is... yeah, I think everyone agrees, though, Ultimate Spider-Man is peak at the moment. But either way, yeah, so... not X-Men. Spider-Man 98, yeah, so his cameo was great. Christopher Daneil Barnes has talked about it. You know, we've got... that's good, right? You know, it's positive. It's positive looking. I think we've got some good inroads into the series. Potentially coming back, or some kind of spin-off movie, or something like that. I think it's going to be... it's looking positive, right? It's looking positive. I keep forgetting freshman year is a thing. They talk so little about the show, and the show even less. Also, Ultimate Spider-Man reminds me of the new animated series. It has similar vibes. I don't know what exactly, but it got... you know, I actually kind of feel the same. Ultimate Spider-Man does remind me of the new animated series, kind of like a grown-up version of Peter from that show. It's bloody boiling today in the UK. Yeah, it is. Mate, honestly, like, it's so hot. Like, it went from just freezing to hot, like, straight away. Dude, you deserve thousands of folks on your streams. Your content is top draw. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, if you guys could share the stream, that'd be great. I greatly appreciate it. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I'm internally grateful. I agree about the current ASM run. It's bad. Ultimate is cool, but like most of bad things in Spider-Man comics are turned gold in Sony Spider-Man. Oh, don't even get me started on Sony. Like, trying to adapt things. I hope Ultimate Spider-Man has like 200 issues and then end, so we'd have a good story to begin, middle, and end, and then we get Ultimate Universe again. Wow, okay. I mean, that's a leap, but I do agree. I think personally, I haven't really thought about this, right? Because, okay, yeah, I've only really gotten into comic books in the last few years or so, like properly. Like, I've always read the Spider-Man comic books, but I've only just gotten into them, like, properly, like, reading every issue by issue very recently. And I've never read a comic book line. Like, I've never read a comic book where I've started reading it when it started, and I've finished it when it's finished. So I'm not really too sure what to expect. Like, obviously, I wasn't born when the original Ultimate Spider-Man, my other favorite comic book run of all time, started. I wasn't alive. So, and then, obviously, ASM's been going on forever. Obviously, I think most of us, in fact, all of us, I think, in this chat probably weren't alive when that was going on. So, yeah, it's one of those things. I think I would like 50 issues. I know that seems quite low, but the issue the original Ultimate Spider-Man series had, and even though I really did like the end, the original Ultimate Spider-Man series, I felt like dragged on a little too long. A tad too long, and that was 135 issues or something like that, give or take. So 50 issues for me, I think, would do me right. I think that's enough to tell the story. I think that's enough issues for there to be enough twists and turns. The way it's going, I think 50 issues would do it justice. And bear in mind, we're only 4 issues in, right? So 5 issues would be a tenth of the way. So I think 50 would be plenty. But yeah, Spider-Man the animated series had a good ending. Prefer if they would not change it. That's fair enough. I mean, I've always talked about this as well with the new animated series. Talking of Spider-Man 98, we're getting back on topic. I've always said, yeah, I believe the ending was pretty good. You know, if people ask me, oh, would you rather have Spectacular Spider-Man come back or would you have 90? In fact, actually, we're going to do that poll. We're going to do that poll right now. So let's start a poll. Which would you rather come back? So, Spidey 98. If I could frickin' spell, man. Spectacular Spider-Man. There we go. So, I always have this... I've had this debate before. Spider-Man 98 or Spectacular Spider-Man. Now, right, if we're taking the quality of the show out of the equation, right, or how much we enjoy the show, should I say. Take the you know, how much we enjoy the show out of the equation. I enjoy Spectacular more, but let's just take that out of the equation for a second. Which one deserves more stories to be told? On the surface, it looks like Spectacular Spider-Man because 2 seasons compared to 5. But also, when you look at the respective endings, Spectacular's cliffhanger was way more prominent than Spider-Man 98's. I call it Spider-Man 98. Really, it's Spider-Man 94, if you're talking about the original show. But either way, the Spider-Man animated series, the 90s show, even though it ended on a cliffhanger, and people argue, oh, that's a reason for it to get a sequel series, really, it was quite a nice ending, because the whole season 5, the season 5 started, I'm pretty sure season 5 started with the wedding of Peter and Mary Jane. It continued through Peter finding out that basically Mary Jane wasn't Mary Jane. She was like a clone, right? And then we find out through, New York's being destroyed. Peter has to go to Battleworld, and all this happens. And then it ends with finally Peter going to search for the real Mary Jane Watson, who was transported through a portal in a battle with the Green Goblin. And that's a nice ending. Like, it's a nice, well-rounded, Peter finally gets to have the happy ending. Peter finally gets to go off and do what he's wanted to do. He doesn't have to save the world. All he's got to do is look for his wife. And I like that. I think that's a really nice ending. Obviously, it is still a cliffhanger. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still a cliffhanger. But it could still be a nice ending, right? It's kind of the same with the end of Spider-Man 3. Right, Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 ends with Harry's death, but it's kind of left open-ended as to what Peter and Mary Jane's relationship looks like. Obviously, there's not enough story left in that film to explore their relationship and tell us this is what it is like after Harry's death, but that's left open-ended. Do Peter and MJ get married finally, like it was set up in the film? Is their relationship okay? The same sort of thing happened in Spider-Man 3. But it was still a nice ending, and people consider it to be, even though Spider-Man 4 was going to happen, people still consider it to be, a nice ending. So Spider-Man, I see the 90s show in that kind of vein, where it is still a nice ending. So I do believe Spectacular Spider-Man deserves a season 3 more than the 90s show does, based off that fact. But that doesn't mean that the 90s show doesn't need to can't come back. I think it's kind of a 50-50. I don't really think it has to. I'd be okay with it not. I'd rather Spectacular Spider-Man get a season 3 than over the 90s show. But if it does come back, I'd still be happy about it, right? And I think most people would kind of agree with me on that sentiment, I think. But yeah, it's a very good point, Henry, you make. Got me on a whole rant there. How connected would you want the Ultimate Comic series to be to Ultimate Spider-Man? What are we talking about? We're talking about the original Ultimate Spider-Man and the new one? I'm not too sure what we are talking about. What's your favorite Spider-Man issue? Oh my god. That's a very hard question. I couldn't tell you. I could only tell you my favorite story. Like, issue is very difficult to put your finger on. Norman is still alive, says Phoenix. Ever heard of Doomblazer? I have heard of Doomblazer. Doomblazer actually commented on Twitter about me. I'm famous. That was disgusting. Doomblazer commented. Doomblazer retweeted something about my video before, which was quite funny actually. But yeah. Either way, do you think Marvel would benefit from changing their model from releasing a book every month to releasing a solid graphic novel every X month? No, because it's not a good business idea. In terms of storytelling, yes, but they have to sell, right? The comic booking industry is already going under as it is because of movies and television shows. Comic books aren't needed, but yeah, there's a certain dedicated fan base keeping them alive, but in terms of sales, they've got a. That's why sometimes ASM is like every 2 or 3 weeks. ASM is sometimes every 2 or 3 weeks because ASM is literally the most popular comic book in Marvel Comics. Like they can't afford, if they did ASM every like couple of months, Marvel Comics would go under. Like they can't afford that. Lewis waffling about Spectacular Spider-Man and Spider-Man 98. Seriously, agree there. I mean, I like the new Ultimate series coming out in June. How connected should they be to the new Ultimate Spider-Man in your opinion? Ultimate series coming out in June? What Ultimate series? What are we talking about? Oh, Ultimates! Oh, I thought you were talking about... Okay. You said Ultimates comic. That's like my dyslexia kicking in. I think it should stay relatively disconnected. I'd like a few references here and there. Like, I think it'd be cool if we'd get... obviously, the Ultimates will be focusing around everything that happened with the Maker and everything, the multiverse stuff happening. But, yeah. No, I think it should stay separate. I think references are fine, but I don't think the story should cross over just yet. We need to explore this character more. Do you think the Zeb Wells comics will be better? No, not while Zeb Wells is in charge. Do you watch 3C Films? He talks about news about Spider-Man 4. I don't, but I've seen some of his videos before. Speaking of Spider-Man 4, we're going to get onto it right now. Let's go. I'm hoping Spider-Man 98 turns out to be true. Me too. I think it'd be really cool. Although I wouldn't be too unhappy if it didn't happen. Hey, can you please give me some advice of how to reach my target audience? Oh, wow. It's a very left field question, but a YouTube question nonetheless. It's a very broad question. Just focus down on your niche. If you're creating content, focus down on your niche, like how I focus on Spider-Man, and you're good to go. You'll reach your target audience in no time. Use keywords, use things and search terms people would search for. Obviously, don't over clickbait, but make your videos, make your content accessible and readable, and make sure people are interested. There you go. One way I would revive the animated series is to have Peter beat an anomaly in Beyond while on the pursuit of Mary Jane. Miles could give him the motivation. Maybe so that could be pretty cool. Lewis, are you going on holiday over the summer? I'm going to Spain next month for the Americans holiday equals vacation. That's very cool. What's Spain? Spain's very nice. Very hot, especially to go over the summer. But yes, I will be. I'm going to Greece, which is pretty cool. And then I'm going to Portugal, which is pretty cool. So I'm going a few places, which I'm very excited about, very grateful. I agree about them being disconnected, although I think maybe Spidey should have a crossover with them sometime in the far future. That's fair enough. Will Spider-Man 98 appear in Beyond the Spider-Verse? I think so. I think this will happen. I actually forgot to mention this, by the way. Hector makes a good point. I think I do think Christopher Daneil Barnes' Spider-Man will appear in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I think that's destined to happen, right? With everything going on right now, I would not be surprised if they try and force him in there. But either way, let's go. We've got to get started on Tom Holland Talks Spider-Man 4 creative process. Now, I will miss something here because he spoke about a lot. There's a lot to go through, but we'll keep it very, very short and sweet. So Tom Holland said two things that were very interesting. Number one, he said that he's never going to retire as Spider-Man. Now, I've got a video coming tomorrow talking about this, and I made a short about a week ago. But this is really interesting because a few years ago, he said that he wouldn't want to do Spider-Man into his 30s, right? So it's completely contradicted what he said. But he said, basically, as long as there are stories to tell, as long as the stories are good, that he's going to continue to play Spider-Man forever because he owes his career to the character. Now, that seems like a very, very suspicious change of heart, considering before he said he didn't want to play the character into his 30s. Why could this be? Now, Tom Holland's a very nice bloke. I appreciate that he wants Spider-Man 4 to be as good as possible, but we've got to remember he's also very likely been given an executive producer role on Spider-Man 4 because he said he's involved in the creative process a lot earlier than he was in the original trilogy, which means most likely he's an executive producer. And what do executive producers make a lot of? That's right, money, right? So maybe Tom Holland didn't want to come back, but Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures have gone, hey Tom, guess what? We can sort you and your family out for about 4 generations if you just come and be an executive producer on our new Spider-Man trilogy. And Tom Holland's gone, yes please. And then they've gone, can you play him as well? And Tom's gone, if you're giving me producer role, absolutely. And there you go. He's an executive producer. He's definitely going to be an executive producer. I can tell you that for free. Obviously I'm speculating, but the chances are he probably is. No, but I'm sorry, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Tom doesn't love the character, because he clearly does, right? He speaks very highly of his passion for Spider-Man. He speaks very highly of the people that gave him the opportunity. He speaks very highly of wanting Spider-Man 4 to be the best of the bunch if he makes it, right? Which, fair enough. Like, if there's going to be one man to take this franchise forward, Tom Holland's the man, right? I'm very aware of this. But he did say before that he wasn't going to come back, and he didn't want to really do it into his 30s. He's involved in the creative process earlier, which definitely means executive producer, which means more money. In fact, it doesn't just mean more money, it means it means an unfathomable amount of money. Producers make so much money, it's unbelievable. But yeah. Can you campaign to make the release the web cut viral? I don't think I could campaign it to be viral, but I definitely do advocate it. LewisFilms question: if Spider-Man 98 happens, will this open the door for Spider-Girl Mayday Parker in the future? Because you'd be so happy. Yes, I believe it could do, definitely. Lewis can't get past a live stream without talking about Spider-Man 4. No, I can't. I really can't. And actually, you put in brackets Tom 24 bricks. Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 as well, because we are going to talk about him too. That's interesting. Mr. Aziz, Joe's Pizza, got a reference in Deadpool 3. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But don't executive producers have nothing to do with creative process? Yeah, well, yes, they do, but also they don't. Some executive producers will sit back and kind of... Some executive producers will take the role of... Okay, they need to hit bullet points for marketing and stuff. So obviously you have to impress investors, right? Especially in an industry that is expensive as Hollywood. So some executive producers will sit there and hit bullet points, whereas some will be involved in the creative process, no doubt, right? Some will go, okay, well, I want to kind of be involved in this. I kind of want to be involved in the story, and I want to be involved in taking the character where, you know, I want them to go. And a good example of this is Kevin Feige, right? Kevin Feige is an executive producer on most every Marvel thing, right? And as a producer, Kevin Feige obviously wants to oversee and is passionate about these characters. So Kevin Feige is one of those producers that will do that, right? Some producers, however, will just be checking boxes, right? Some producers will be checking boxes, impressing investors. Some producers, like Kevin Feige, will be there like, yeah, okay, well, we need to do these with these characters, right? We need to do this with these characters. I reckon Tom Holland's gonna be more like that. But they do get paid. They get paid so much money. It's nah. Pretty sure they decided what goes and what doesn't go in the movie, at least at the very least. Did Tom make the 30-year-old comment before or after Toby and Andrew came back, because that may have played a part? Possibly, actually. You make a very good point. Didn't think about that. Don't executive producers only finance the movies? Well, it's complicated, right? Some of them can be, you know, representing the company, representing the studio. Like, for example, Amy Pascal represents and Avi Arad represent Sony Pictures, for example. So, you know, I'm not entirely knowing of the information inside and out of how it works, but I know two things. Executive producers get to make a lot of the final calls, which is what Tom Holland said he wants to do, and also they make a lot of money. So putting two and two together, I would not be surprised if some way, shape or form, Tom Holland is an executive producer on Spider-Man 4, and the reason he's signed on and said he would love to play the character for longer is because he's getting paid a lot of money. So I think that's just the way to look at it. Look at James Gunn, because the Infinity Saga is technically his idea. Of course, Guardians, he was exec producer on Endgame and Infinity War. He was. I want to be producer or director one day. That would be, I mean, I wish you luck, 24 Bricks. Me too. I think that would be really, really cool. But either way, so yeah, let's talk less about the money now. Let's talk less about the money. Let's talk about more Spider-Man 4 itself. So Tom Holland is definitely coming back, right? That's pretty much, you know, nailed on. We haven't had official confirmation, but, you know, based on all the rumors, speculation, and Tom even saying, like, you know, I'm going to come back as long as the story's good. He's involved in the creative process, which means he is in the writing room. He's in the writing room. He's having meetings with Amy Pascal, probably Kevin Feige as well, maybe even Avi Arad. He's going to be talking to these people, and he's going to be talking, hey, this is what we need to do with the character. We need to keep this in line, and, you know... And I reckon, Tom, we got those rumors a few weeks ago, actually, a few months ago, maybe. Remember, if you guys remember, we got those rumors that apparently they had come to an agreement about Spider-Man 4 being part multiversal and part street level. Kevin Feige wanted it to be street level. Amy Pascal and Sony wanted it to be multiversal, and I reckon Tom Holland is probably the reason why that is why there's been an agreement been made there. I reckon Tom Holland is definitely the reason, because I reckon he's sitting down going, okay, well, we need to do this with the character. If you don't, I'm not coming back to play the character anymore. You promised me this. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. Yes, we can have this. We can check that box. We can check the multiversal box, but we're going to do it like this. We're also going to include a lot of Kevin's ideas, because Kevin is also trying to build this really cool story in the MCU. I reckon that's what he's doing, and I really hope he is, and hopefully we get some sort of resolution and really good film when it comes out. I'm curious if Sony will even allow Spider-Man 4 to be a street level with Tom Holland involved, because I really hope that's the case, and I really do far away from the multiverse. It won't be, unfortunately. It will include the multiverse, but to what extent, we don't know. Hopefully, it isn't that much. But either way, let's move on then. So, Sam Raimi Spider-Man films coming to the United Kingdom. Yes, come on. Up the British. It's coming to the UK, and I've actually got my tickets to see Spider-Man 1 and 2 already, which is really, really cool. And if you guys live in the United Kingdom, then I definitely recommend you guys get your tickets to see them, because this is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But that leads me on to my big theory about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4. And I saw this on Twitter the other day, actually. So I actually, so credit to whoever said it on Twitter. I don't know who said it. I'm really sorry. But I saw this on Twitter the other day and I thought this was really interesting. So someone said it on Twitter. Basically, they think the reason Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films are being shown in the US and Canada, which are, you know, big marketing targets, big financial targets, and now in the UK as well, another very, very influential, you know, medium for these films, is because they're testing the waters to see if a Spider-Man 4 would work. And if they're successful, if they make enough money, then Sony are going to be like, yep, green light Spider-Man 4. So I saw this rumor and I was like, you know what? That makes so much sense. Because Spider-Man 1 and 2 made over $2 million in the box office, right? Spider-Man 3, this is in just the US only, by the way, in US and Canada. Spider-Man 3 made $760,000, which doesn't seem like a lot, but bear in mind, the tickets were discounted at half price as well because it was a re-release, right? And they were only on for a few days. Let that sink in. Spider-Man 2 was number 2 at the box office. Number 1 was Civil War, which is a new film which has been which is a highly critically acclaimed film at the moment, by the way. Spider-Man 2 was second. You know how impressive that is? That's incredible. So yes, these films still have the financial power over the market. These films still have the critical capability to draw fans in, to draw audiences in, at least domestically, and we're about to see in the United Kingdom as well if they can do it worldwide as well. If it goes well in the UK, will they release them across Europe? Will they release them in Australia? Probably. But you know what? Sony Pictures are testing the waters, and so far they've succeeded. And I think, and when I saw this on Twitter, I was like, yes, I can see this happening. I think this is an in for Spider-Man 4. I really do. I think they're testing the waters. I think they're seeing if they work financially. I think they're seeing if the interest is still there for the character. And at the current rate we're going, it looks like we might be in for Spider-Man 4. For my birthday, I'm seeing TASM 2. I'm so excited. Said 24 bricks. That's good. Unfortunately, I missed the Raimi trilogy in the States. Oh, Romantic Avocado. No. I mean, at least you can see them whenever you want. I guess you could just, like, you know, stream service or whatever. But, yeah, that sucks. Prowler and Scorpio should be villains for Spider-Man 4 because they are direct results of Peter's actions and would be... Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good point. Good point. If that happens, that'll be the story for Spider-Man 4 by Sam Raimi, because I am curious if Sam Raimi will have creative control this time around, far away from Sony's influence. I think it will be a case of, if they bring Sam back, I reckon Sam will probably say, hey, let me work on the story, and then we'll talk. He did come out in an interview not too long ago speaking about the fact that it was not anything groundbreaking, not anything we really need to talk about, because it's just things that he said before. He basically said, listen, if we're going to do a fourth film, I'm down. I'd need to speak to the writers, and I'd need to speak to Sony and Tobey Maguire, and they'd all need to sit down and think about what the story would be for the character. And I really appreciate that from Sam Raimi. He isn't just going, yeah, I'd do it. No, I really appreciate that from Sam Raimi. I think he's protecting the integrity of the character. And Spider-Man 3 obviously isn't a bad film. It just wasn't what he wanted it to be. And I think him not just going straight into a Spider-Man 4 willy-nilly is really him kind of trying to put the handbrake on and go, yeah, okay, if we're going to do this, it's going to be better than Spider-Man 3. We're going to get it right. So, yeah. So it would have been first if the tickets weren't discounted. Yeah, so if the tickets weren't discounted, the Spider-Man 2 would have been first, yes. Or I assume it would be. That is impressive, and it just goes to show there's still a hunger for good stories. Exactly. Who is your favourite Spider-Man, Tobey, Andrew, or Tom? I always get asked this question, and my immediate answer is always, my favourite is Tobey. My guilty pleasure is Andrew Garfield, because I grew up with Andrew Garfield. Well, I grew up with Tobey as well, but Andrew was the first one I saw in theaters. And I think the best character is Tom. That's kind of how I distinguish it, right? The best character is Tom, I think, personally. My guilty pleasure is Andrew Garfield. and my favorite is Tobey Maguire. That's kind of my. I don't usually give one concrete answer. I have to give a reason for all three. I hope Kraven is a villain for Raimi's 4 or Vulture. Vulture could represent age and Kraven's legacy given Last Hunt. Why did they take the Spider-Man movies off Disney Plus? I don't know why. I think it's probably something to do with Sony. But yeah, I was pissed about that as well. I wish I could have seen Spider-Man 1 for my birthday. Well, I mean, luckily we can still watch it whenever, but yeah, it sucks that some people didn't get to see it in theaters. I saw the Raimi trilogy growing up, and honestly, I don't need to see these movies again. Not because they're bad, mostly because 1 or 2 are fantastic, 3 is mediocre. My own idea, but what if Toby or Andrew came back as clones of Peter, like Kane or Ben? It would allow Marvel to introduce the Jackal in Spider-Man 4. That could be interesting. I've never thought about it like that, but yeah, I mean, maybe that's a way to get the crossover done. Again, will we get a clone in Spider-Man 4? Probably not, but you know what? I think we're actually close to seeing some sort of adaptation of the Clone Saga. I think we are close. I really do. Anyway, yes, so that's my Spider-Man 4 theory, which I think is very promising. But let's move on then. So Jacob Batalon returning in Spider-Man 4. This wasn't something crazy. Actually, hold on. I need to do a poll, right? I need to do a poll. You know, you guys know I need to do a poll. You know I need to do a poll. What should the poll be? It should be Spider-Man 4 related. So, do you think with Raimi's films releasing in theaters, Spider-Man 4 is possible? There we go. That's the poll. So yeah, so Jacob Batalon returning in Spider-Man 4. So this wasn't anything too big, but he basically said he hasn't got the call yet to return, but he would like to. And to be fair, yeah, fair enough. I think anyone would like to. I bet he gets paid a lot of money. But do we really need Ned back? I get having MJ back. Like Zendaya, obviously a big marketing, a big marketing ploy, getting Zendaya in your film. Kind of like how Dune 1 milked Zendaya's appearance in like the whole marketing campaign. But either way, Jacob Batalon is not needed because Ned isn't needed for the story. MJ might be needed for the story. I think moreover you bring her back because of Zendaya. But still, I can see MJ being needed for the story based on potentially her from a distance being in the story and then kind of reintroducing her slowly throughout the trilogy as it goes on. If I could have my way with this, I think I wouldn't reintroduce Ned or MJ, but I think MJ is definitely going to be in it. I can see her being in it. I'm happy with her being in it. But Ned, no, I don't. We don't need Ned. We need someone else. He could become the Hobgoblin. This is the only thing, right? Could he become the Hobgoblin? Could he become a villain? Possibly. In fact, actually, I think that Spider-Man 4 poll was pretty pointless. I think we all know what the answer is there. I'm going to start a poll. Do you want Ned in the in MCU Spider-Man 4? Right. Here we go. Here's the next poll. There we go. Right. I think Hobgoblin is a good way to do it, but how would you do Hobgoblin? How would you do it? Because Ned doesn't know Peter anymore. It would have worked if Peter and Ned still knew each other. But he doesn't know Ned. So that's a whole new relationship you have to build up. We'll all see it coming as well. Yeah, it's too predictable. 24 Bricks makes a good point. It's too predictable. And even so, it kills any sting, because the only reason why you make Ned Hobgoblin is because he had that predetermined relationship with Tom Holland Spider-Man. So, and now that that's gone, there's no reason. If you're gonna, it's the same thing as doing Roderick Kingsley. It's the same thing as making Hobgoblin Harry Osborn, or making him another version of Norman Osborn. They'd all have the same impact. At least if you did Roderick Kingsley's obvious, but at least if you did Harry Osborn, or if you did Norman Osborn, or if you did someone else, it wouldn't be as obvious, right? Like, you could probably get away with some sort of mad reveal, right? But no, so it's one of those things. I don't think Ned... Just don't need him, man. Just don't need him. See? Oh, my God. Yep. Maybe there's no way to do it. I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe there isn't. Let me know in the chat, actually. I want to know, is there a way to do it? Since he looks like Genki from Ultimate Comics, has Genki ever been a villain? Well, he's not Genki, is he? He's Ned Leeds. He's not Genki. But he was based off Genki, though. I mean, Ned in the MCU was based off Genki. They pulled a lot of... because obviously they were trying to do something different with Homecoming, weren't they? So they pulled a lot of elements from the Ultimate Miles comics at the time. And they were pretty fresh, so... Victor, hello, how we doing? Since he looks like... oh, I did that one. They need someone niche. Beetle, Big Wheel, Prowler, maybe even Rhino. That could be pretty cool. I'd like Beetle. I'd really like Beetle. There's a cool story with Beetle, actually, that they could do with Tombstone. Prowler, obviously, is good because of Miles Morales. That connection there. We know the Miles movie's coming at some point, too. So, that could also be a possibility. I mean, it just depends. It just depends what they do. With the Miles movie, if Prowler's going to be in it, they could do, and I assume Donald Glover's coming back, right? So, why do you think we'll see the Spider-Man Tom Holland's run? I'm not too sure I understand the question, but I'd be fine to answer it if I understood. Venom. Okay, so here we go. This is the it's confirmed, I think, Beetle Insomniac Spider-Man 2 DLC. I avoided talking about that when it first came out because I didn't want to give away spoilers, but I think everyone kind of knows now. But yes, that is happening. Yes, it is confirmed. It is confirmed. It got leaked. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the last thing on the list then. So, Venom 3 marketing has started. So, basically, I think we're going to be getting a Venom 3 trailer very soon. Nothing surprising about that. It's about time we get a trailer for the Venom film. We're getting close to release, 6 months out almost. So it's no surprise. But basically, a couple of Twitter accounts found Amazon marketing with Venom The Last Dance hoodies and t-shirts and merch. So that means the marketing push has started or will start very soon. So I think a trailer is coming within the next few weeks, personally. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Do you think Ultimate Spider-Man or Spectacular Spider-Man will replace the Amazing Spider-Man comic run? No, I don't think it will replace it. I think they'll end up taking inspiration from it, though. I am trying to avoid spoilers for the DLC. Oh, I do apologize. We will not talk about DLC. We will not talk about any of the leaks. But yes, it came out a while ago. Like, it's been out for a very long time now. So if you've managed to avoid it, then fair play. I don't know how you've done that, but fair play. I do apologize. We won't talk about it anymore. We should keep up with Michelle and Ned to see how their lives are in contrast to Peter's without them. That would be pretty cool, but it also would kind of undercut the story for Spider-Man 4, I think. Maybe I'd say spin-off series, but is that necessary? Probably not, but it'd be cool. Hey, Cham, how we doing? Will there be new suits from shows in Marvel Spider-Man 2 DLC? Maybe, possibly. Will we get back in Black Venom suit in Spider-Man 4? Possibly. Sam Raimi should direct a Spider-Girl trilogy with Ian Bryce producing with Avi Arad and David Koepp writing. Yeah, I mean, Spider-Girl would be pretty cool. Spinning off from Tobey Maguire. Quite excited for Venom The Last Dance. It'll probably be the best Sonyverse Spider-Man film, but that's not saying much. Yeah, no, I mean... It won't be saying much, but I agree. It probably might be the best of the three. I'm really excited to see. I personally don't care about Venom 3, mostly because, well, the last Venom movies weren't anything to write home about. Yeah, absolutely agree. They weren't the best. They weren't the best films. But I am excited for Venom 3 because I think, given everything that Sony is putting out, Craven, well, we haven't seen Craven yet, but Venom, Venom 2, Madam Web, obviously Morbius, and then Craven comes out. Venom 3 looks like it could be the best thing, so, yeah. Which one would you choose to bring back, Spectacular or 90s Spider-Man? Spectacular, probably, out the two. Just because Spectacular, I felt, had a heavier cliffhanger than 90s Spider-Man. I personally would really like Sam Raimi, Spider-Man 4, to bring my girl Mayday Parker, Spider-Girl, in that movie, just because this would open the door for her. Yeah, that'd be great. What would happen if Sony loses money from a failure Sony movie? Well, I think they've already done that, haven't they? I don't think it stops them. Will Venom 3 be better than Venom 1? Probably. I assume so. But either way, that is pretty much it for the news today. Thank you very much for watching once again. It has always been a pleasure to do these streams. I want to remind all of you guys, though, by the way, in the chat right now, there's 3 things I'm going to say, actually. 3 things, so listen carefully. Number 1, Subscribe to Lewis Fiction. It's my fan fiction channel where we're almost at 5,000 subscribers, so I'd love if we could get that goal. That'd be really, really cool. And also, I'm posting my MCU Spider-Man College Trilogy on there. Currently on 5, which comes out this week. Number 2, if you haven't already, consider maybe becoming a member, because the members get early access to all the videos. And also, the third thing, I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh, wait, no. Live streaming next week, Tuesday, 7 PM UK time, same time as we did today. So let's build momentum. Let's get the streams going again. Obviously after the little break that I had away and all that, and you know, with the lack of news that came out kind of before I went away. But either way, yeah. Thank you for watching. Can we talk about Superman? Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to talk about the Superman costume. Actually, yes. So the Superman costume. Has everyone seen the Superman costume? By the way, just assuming everyone's seen it, right? Everyone's definitely seen it. Superman costume, really, really good. Right? Really, really good. It was really, really good. I won't lie, I kind of forgot about Venom the last night. Yeah, yes. Yeah, no, it looks really cool. I've heard people on Twitter comparing it to Henry Cavill and saying it's a downgrade. It's a different vibe, man. Like I don't know your guys' opinion on it. Give me a quick opinion in the chat. I'd love to hear what you think about it. But my opinion on the Superman suit, personally, is that I think it looks really cool. It looks like proper Superman. You know what I mean? Like, Henry Cavill's suit, I think, was very... What's the word? It looked metallic. It was very of the times, right? Very Zack Snyder-y. But people are hating on the James Gunn suit because it doesn't look like the Henry Cavill one, but it's not meant to. Like, it's meant to look more loose. It's meant to look more homemade. It's meant to look more kind of retro-y, kind of. I don't know. It gives me that vibe. It gives me the James Gunn vibe, right? The Guardians of the Galaxy 3 vibe. So, yeah, I don't. That's my opinion on the Superman suit. I think it looks really cool. We need the CEO in Spider-Man 4, says Romantic Avocado. If Spectacular returns, they should all get 19-year-old New Yorkers for all the students. I don't know if it will return or not. I hope it does. I think people aren't liking it mostly because it's connected to the New 52 reboot, which was very unpopular. Oh yeah, I heard the New 52 wasn't very good, but the suit looks amazing, man. The suit looks amazing. The suit looks amazing. I wonder which is better, the 90s Spider-Man cartoon or the 200 Sims. I'm not too sure what you mean by that, but the 90s Spider-Man cartoon was good. Did you feel bad when Peter was fired from Spectacular Spider-Man Season 1, Episode 3? I did feel bad. I did. Yeah, it was very well written. I can agree the suit does look good. Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks amazing. But either way, yeah, the suit looks amazing. Actually, I'm gonna run a very, very quick poll. Actually, very, very quick poll. The suit looks like the Fortnite costume. That's not always a bad thing though. The Fortnite costume. Do you like the Superman suit? The Fortnite costume. Fortnite costumes are usually pretty good, actually. In my opinion, anyway. There we go. Do you like the Superman costume? There we go. Let's see what ratio we've got here. The DCEU makes no sense right now at this point in time. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But James Gunn's rebooting, and thank God for that. Thank God for that, man. Yes, we got 100% yes on 5 votes. Okay, so I think generally people like it, which is good. Which is good. Do you need to see? Oh my God, Ned in the MCU got 55% yes. Damn, man. Damn. He's a bit overrated as a character. It says 24 breaks. We'll just have to see when the film comes out, I think. I feel like TASM Duology in theaters is the perfect time to spread release the web cut. It is, yeah. James will do a save 101. He will save it. But either way, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it once again. Like I said a few moments ago, going to be streaming next week, 7 PM UK time. On Tuesday, obviously every single Tuesday. When news comes out, we'll be talking about the news, covering the Spider-Man news. LewisFilms, I'm curious, if Spider-Man 98 does return, will it finally affect the comics and make them good again? Probably not, because we've seen even when comics are good themselves, they can't seem to get it right. Also, DC is very confusing as he isn't fully rebooting with Peacemaker. That is very confusing, but I mean, I kind of have ignored Peacemaker just because I kind of want a fresh start in my own head. But either way, cool stream. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream, or I'll catch you guys for tomorrow's video. We're posting 6 PM UK time tomorrow. Video going out. Thanks for watching. See you guys see you guys. I've just lost every ability to speak there. I'll see you guys